All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the fifth episode of the Nifty Cauldron podcast. I'm your host, Milan, and this is my co host.
Kelly, what's poppin', gamers?
What's poppin'? How are you doing today, Kelly?
I'm doing all right. How you doing today, friend?
I'm doing really good. I mean, it's kind of hard not to do good after the Sony and Monster Hunter announcements, honestly.
I'm so stoked, Scoob.
Yeah, like I'm stoked about a lot of things. Is there anything in particular you're like mega stoked about?
I'm gonna go ahead and have to say fucking Monster Hunter Rise, dude. You get a puppo. Finally,
You do get a puppy.
My moment is here as somebody who owns a dog and loves dogs. I feel like now's finally my fucking moment. The fucking Palamute is adorable. It low-key reminds me of fucking Rapide from Tales of Vesperia. Post a fucking picture of that shit on screen during this moment. So it's basically Knife Dog, and like that speaks to me on a molecular level. My atoms are vibrating at a speed that is incomprehensible to man. I'm just so fucking incredibly stoked at the fact that now you can have a dog companion, because I feel like I love cats. Like, I love animals in general. Like, who doesn't like animals? Animals are adorable. If you don't like animals, you're kind of fucking weird. Called out, doxed. But if you like, if you're like a dog owner and you love dogs, like having a cat is great, but like you hunger for that sweet supple companionship that you have IRL. So now that we have dog, I'm fucking stoked. I'm taking that fucking day off. March 26th, Friday, here in NA. Probably a different time for you, my guy. But I'm taking that fucking day off and I'll play the shit out of that.
Yeah, I can agree. And the cool thing is you can have up to 2 companions with you. So you can have 2 cats or a dog and a cat or 2 dogs. And even if you play with 4 people online, everybody can bring 1 companion. So I think that's an interesting change. I'm curious if they're going to do it like World, where you have a companion you make, and then you customize it and you give them equipment, or if it's going to be like the older games where after a mission, there's a chance, randoms will show up and they have like a certain style and skill set, and you can either recruit them or not. And I'm leaning more towards the latter system because, otherwise you would have to make 2 cats and 2 dogs. And I don't think they're going to let us do that, honestly.
At the same time, why the fuck not? They also said that there was going to be, like layered armor and stuff like that for the Palamute. So that part of me feels like that might be like a gentle whispering that you might be able to have a customizable dog. But at the same time, I won't get my hopes up. I'm just happy to have dog. I would love if dog Palamute. I'm just gonna call him dog. I would love if dog looks like my IRL dog.
Yeah.
And if I can make that happen, then like I'm fucking double in, Scoob. But I mean, if I can't, I'm still just happy to have dog.
Yeah, no, I can absolutely get that. I think the layered armor is a pre-order bonus for the deluxe version, I want to say, and they're also adding layered armor with amiibos, which, and don't do that. Like, I don't want to buy amiibos are expensive. Like,
I agree.
I don't like that,
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm gonna get flamed, hardcore, potentially for this comment, but like, I'm not an amiibo person. I don't want to have more tchotchkes, more knickknacks like lying around my house that have like the ability to interact with my like Switch that I have to like physically display on a shelf or something like that, keep in a safe spot. I don't know. I just don't necessarily want to have like another thing to take up room in my house. And I know a lot of people out there do, and they are like diehard for the fandoms and stuff like that. But like, I don't know. I'm running out of room as it is in my tiny box of a room. I don't really want to fucking throw down some more shit to take up in a corner and then have to keep track of it because it's actually like a valuable thing. and then, displaying it. But I know there's a lot of diehard Nintendo people out there that, ride or die for the fucking amiibo. And if so, like, I'm happy for you, proud of you. Keep doing your thing, live your best life. You're amazing. You're a model. You look like Linda Evangelista, but it's just not for me.
Yeah. It's not for me either. I have nothing against amiibos. Like, I think the idea is neat, like little cool collectibles for your favorite game. But I just have an issue when it's, DLC stuff that there's no other way to get it, because amiibos are like 25 to 30 bucks, right? Like if it was like $5 or $10, whatever, you get it if you want to. But I don't know. I feel if you're not a collector of them, then getting them just for like cosmetic stuff or small things into the game, I think that's way too overpriced.
Yeah, I agree too. Especially, it's like, for me with amiibos, I feel like they're kind of like low-key, don't dox me, don't hate me, Nintendo fans out there, but they're like a tiny bit cash grabby. And I feel that especially when it came to certain amiibos, the supply and demand of them went crazy. I know for like the Animal Crossing amiibo fucking shit, like that went nuts once Animal Crossing New Horizons came out and everybody was like trying to basically murder each other to get like, the amiibo that they wanted. So for me, it's just like to have it only strictly available in an amiibo setting and not being able to potentially, have it as downloadable DLC. It's cash grabby in the sense for other people, and that like Nintendo would do better to like just have that available as DLC. That way, other people that don't have access or can't get amiibos or production is halted, and all the other shit that ended up happening with the fucking Switch and shit. It would do them. It would just be better if like people who can't get a hold of amiibo could still get the content, with like having it being like so exclusive, especially when supply and demand for amiibos has been fucking crazy over the years.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, because it always did feel cash. I mean, I guess it's not cash grabby if you're looking at it from a collector's point of view, right? I think 20 to 30 bucks for an amiibo, if you're wanting to put it on display, I think that's fine, right? Like that's about the price of like a Funko Pop, so it evens out. But if you're getting it for the sole purpose to get game DLC or cosmetics or whatever, that's hella cash grab. Like it's a third or half the price of the game. Like, come on, right? Like,
yeah.
If I want to get all 3 Monster Hunter amiibos, I don't know if amiibos ever come in like packs or something, but if I want to get all 3 of them, it's going to cost me 60 to 90 bucks. Like, that's insane. Like, that's too much. Stop it. It's time to stop.
Yeah.
But they sell. Yeah, but they sell amazingly well. So why would they stop? Like there's no reason for them to ever stop.
Yeah. No, I get it. But I mean, just specifically having, I agree with you with the whole like, hey, the cosmetics specifically linked to the amiibo, and you have to have the fucking amiibo in order to get them. It's just shitty because you can make more money if you just open it up. Yeah, the collectors will buy the amiibos and they'll have them in their house and everything like that. But the people that just want the cosmetics, like my ass, put that shit in the DLC store. I'll buy you.
Yeah,
like throw my money at you.
Exactly. Like I might consider buying a layered armor for like $2 to $5. I'm never gonna buy that amiibo ever.
Exactly. Same. Because I don't want like am I a collector in certain respects? Yes. Am I like, do I want an amiibo? Probably not. Do I want my character to look fucking sexy in game? Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. So I guess alternate question: would you buy the DLC, the layered armor, if it was on the store, but it had the same price as the amiibo?
Do I get anything extra, or it's just
no,
the fucking
no, just
item and
just exactly? It would act like you scanned the amiibo, but you're paying full price.
No, because everybody else that is buying and paying that fucking money get an actual tangible object, and I'm paying the exact same and I don't get one. If it was like discounted, like if it had like maybe it was like $5 to $10 less because you don't get the actual amiibo. Yes.
Yeah, but that's why I asked. Like so that's how it should be, in my opinion. Like I don't think you should pay the same price. Obviously, that's insane.
You're getting something out of it. You're getting a tangible fucking object that you can like handle in your hands and shit. If you're not getting like, why would you it just doesn't make sense. Like, it's like, clearly there is a production cost that is, allocated to the cost of the amiibo. That's why that is what it is. And yes, you're getting some bonus content, but there is a production cost that goes into going to the amiibo. If you're not fronting that production cost, then why pass the full cost of the object to us when it doesn't cost you anything to do it?
Oh, to be fair, that's already been done, and people don't complain about it. Like game prices. So games have always been $60, right?
For the most part.
Around $60, but let's just say 60. That's like the going rate. Like some are 65, some are 70, right? Stuff like that. But the average game price is 60. But when you buy a game digitally, you're also paying 60. But you don't get the case, you don't get the booklet, you don't get the disc. There are no shipping costs involved, like getting it to like the retailer, and they don't get a cut. So it's already being done in a sense. You still get kind of the same product in the end, but in the profit margin is way bigger on any digital sale.
See, for me, I don't see the disc itself as content. I see the stuff that's on the disc content.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get like an actual tangible object, when it comes to like an amiibo or whatever, I see that as content. I don't see a disc as content, because you don't look fondly at a disc and go like, oh yes, this is the greatest disc I've ever encountered in my entire life. Versus like an amiibo, you might look at an amiibo and just be like, fuck yeah, hell yeah, that shit,
Oh yeah, no, of course.
Do that with a disc. And there's some people that love to have the book, they want the steel book and everything like that. That's why deluxe editions exist. But even then, like they do charge extra for that, because you're getting some additional content. The steel book costs money. And I understand what you're saying is like, the cost, digital copies, they cost the same as physical copies, but it's just like, it depends on how much value you place upon a case, a book, and a disc. And for me, sometimes I want it because I want it and that thing's special, and I want to look at it and be like, oh yes, the greatest game I've ever played. And there are times where I just like, I don't fucking want that shit sitting in my house.
Oh yeah, no, I do agree. Like I buy, let's say 99% of my purchases are digital, because I don't want to go out. I don't want to have to wait on shipping. Just give me that midnight sweet release. The only time I'll buy it physically is sometimes like the digital version on like the PlayStation Store will be like $70. But if I order it through the store, it'll be like 52. Like, okay, I'll wait a day for shipping for $20. Like that's fine. But I just mean like from the viewpoint of not looking at it as content, but the profit margins on digital sales are much wider. So in theory, they could sell the digital ones for like, let's say $40 and still have the same amount of profit as if someone would buy a physical copy, but they don't. So that's what I mean. Like it still kind of falls on us. It makes sense. Don't get me wrong. Like I would do it too. How as a company could get away with it, but that is just what happens, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. It's also just like it depends as well. It's like how much you fucking like a company to, because it's like sometimes you're willing to throw a little bit extra more money at a company that you actually love and you care about and shit like that. Like when it comes to certain things, it's like when I got 7 Remake, I was like, I'm gonna get the nice deluxe edition because I want that as like a collector's standpoint, and I also want to throw the extra money towards the company. I don't know what their return on investments or their their overhead costs when it comes to manufacturing that, but it's like, yeah, I'm gonna offer the more spicy version because it's something that I want, and I'm sure the extra money, they like it too.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like extra money?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, Monster Hunter is looking great. Like some textures aside, which are like a little bit iffy. Like the wing bug looks good. Like it's not a clutch claw. I hate the clutch claw. They didn't get rid of it. Right, it's still in the game, but it looks like you don't need to tenderize anymore, and no wall bangs. It's just a way to jump and mount monsters and navigate the map and give you new moves for your weapons. And I am all for that. I like that. That's good. Good job, Capcom. You did it.
You did it.
But other than that, I am, games aside, I'm really excited about the PS5's price point. It's $399 for the digital version, and that's attractive. Like, I mean, it's coming out in November, so we don't have Thanksgiving here or Black Friday or Cyber Monday. Like, we don't have that, but that's a really good price. Like, I'm sure like around Christmas it'll be bundled with like a video game for the same price.
Yeah.
So I think $400 is very, very reasonable. Demon Souls was a huge nut. Like my nipples were diamonds during that entire thing. It looked so good. Oh my god. I'm still nothing. Just thinking about it, it's just nut.
Big nut, unga bunga, Demon Souls.
Absolutely. And then
question though, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
If they made like a limited edition of the PS5, but it was a Demon Souls version, would you spend an extra $100 to get that special version?
No. Because I'm broke. Like,
I was gonna say doctor reasoning, but then I was like, oh, I actually kind of figured what you would say.
Like, but if I had the money to throw around, then I would maybe consider it, depending on what it looks like. Have you seen the? God, I think it's the PS4, Monster Hunter PS4.
Yeah,
it looks really, really good. Like, it looks amazing.
Yeah, no, I think Carbini has it. Carbini and Gamora, they have a Monster Hunter PS4 at their house, and no tea, no shade. Gamora told me that she was low-key anticipating that they would be releasing a special Monster Hunter version of the Switch, and if so, that she would be potentially purchasing that for Carbini in the future.
Interesting. I guess
would you get a Monster Hunter Switch?
I already have a Switch, so absolutely not.
Okay, there are some people out there that are willing to spend the money again. Like, I know somebody that fucking had a Switch, and then they got a Switch Lite because their significant other wanted to use the Switch for something on the TV, and so they're like, okay, I've got a Switch Lite. But then when they released the Animal Crossing Switch, they bought another Switch because they wanted the Animal Crossing one.
I mean, I can understand that. Like, if you have the money, right? Like, or for listeners, when I said I'm broke, I barely scrape by every month with like bills and food, right? Like, I'm lucky that I don't live in the United States, so if I get like health emergency or anything like that, I'm not in trouble. But I'm more or less like one paycheck away from being homeless, right? Like, if I don't get one paycheck, I'm fucked. So for me, $100 is a lot of money. I would say that is half my budget for food for the entire month. So it's like, it's a lot. But if I had like disposable income, like let's say if I had a couple $100 every month to spend on shit, then I might be like, okay, like the Switch is coming out in 4 or 5 months, I'll start putting some money aside and I'll get it. But I don't think I would ever do it though if I already had the console. I just can't justify it, because maybe like I'll sell the other one to recoup the cost or give it to a friend who doesn't have one. But in general, I would have to have like levels of like fuck you money to consider doing that, right? Like, I would have to have like a couple grand disposable every month to consider blowing $400 or $500 on an aesthetic of a console.
No. And like, I agree with you. I agree. But I know there are people out there that are like ride or die for that shit, and they would spend the additional money to get like a special cosmetic version of something that they already love. And they would either sell the previous one or, give it to a friend. Basically what you described. Would I do that? Probably not either, because I'm also I don't want to say I'm where Nifty's at, but I'm at the point where I have to be pretty conservative with my saving, and I don't have that quote unquote fuck you quote unquote fucking anime pussy money just to be throwing left and right and shit. I'm the exact same way. Like, I'm very conservative with what I spend my money on, and I would probably not buy a special cosmetic version for an additional $100 unless I really wouldn't, unless it like cooked me dinner and told me I was pretty. Then I'm like, $100.
Yeah, because you do live in the United States, right? You're to put it in a shitty way, you're always one disaster away from being poor, right? Like, if you have to go to the hospital tomorrow, or something happens to Darius, he needs surgery. It's just always like something could happen and you're suddenly fucked, right?
Yep. Hashtag destitute.
Yeah, and so that's just rough, right? But I don't know. There are like if they announce the Demon Souls right now, right? Like it's coming out in the future when Demon Souls comes out, like the PS5. I still wouldn't do it because I'm broke. But then otherwise, I might consider it. Like not Demon Souls specifically, but it would be more on the table if I didn't already own the piece of hardware, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, exactly. Like if I already own the piece of hardware, dead ass no.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna buy it again. I don't have time for that.
Didn't they release Fire Emblem DS at some point? 3DS?
Yes, they re-released a Fire Emblem 3DS. You know what I did? I didn't buy it because I already had a 3DS, and I love Fire Emblem.
I know. That's why I bring it up.
Yeah, I'm like bend over, grab my toes, show you where the wild goose goes for fucking Fire Emblem, 110%. But
yeah,
did I shell that out? No, I already had a 3DS, which was actually a birthday gift from a very good friend of mine. So, and it was purple. I love my purple DS. I dead ass was like, I'm not gonna buy the 3DS unless they drop a purple color. And then like the first couple colors came out, and I was like, eh. And then like they finally announced the purple one, and I was just like, fuck.
I feel you. I wanted the purple one, but it didn't exist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it came out with the second round of colors, I think.
Yeah, but I wanted to play Monster Hunter, so I got like the blue green one, which isn't a bad color, but it's not purple,
Nah, dude, there's nothing better than a pimp purple 3DS.
Exactly. I love purple in a lot of things. Like I would buy a purple PS5. I don't care.
Ooh, that's actually a good question. Like if I mean, they quintessentially usually do like black version, white version kind of thing. At least that's what Xbox has done in the past. With the whole, the Xbox One, it came in black, and then they're just like, but now look at it in white kind of thing. So I don't know if they release like a black, because I think it's supposed to be white, right? The PS5 is supposed to be white.
Yeah, it has a white body.
Yeah. It has a white body, yeah. So I think if they were rumoring, if there was a rumor reel that there was gonna be a black PS5 versus versus like the standard white PS5, I would wait. I'll wait, because I prefer my consoles to be black, because white, you see the dust. You see the dust, you see the dirt. You see the grime.
Black
better.
Black, you see more dust, I would say. But for me, it honestly depends on when is the black one coming out, right? And which games are coming out between now and then. You know what I mean? Like if there's like four games I want to play that are coming out in the next 4 months, but the black version is coming out 9 months from now, I would never wait.
I would. That's the thing. I was like, I would wait because #GothLife. I want the black one.
All right, different question. Somehow Fire Emblem comes out next week on the PS5, but the black one is coming out 6 months from now. What do you do?
Okay. That's really hard. That's really hard. I'm actually low key struggling. Perhaps I would wait until the black one came out, and then I would like mute all my social media so no one spoiled me.
For 9 months.
That's a whole baby. That's a fully gestated fucking baby. That's how I like to think about things in spans of time. It's like, man, that is a fully gestated baby.
Yeah. But I mean, realistically, what'll happen is the black one is going to come out when they announce PS5 Pro.
Yes, exactly. And then it's going to be years. But at the same time, you should never buy the first generation of a console because they usually kind of have some fucked up bugs. That's how I feel. Okay, you know what? No, you're wrong. Think about it. The original Xbox. The original Xbox 360, the Red Ring of Death. They didn't get rid of that shit until the fucking second generation of that shit. The fucking same thing with the fucking the Wii. Didn't we have like their first generation had some fucking bugs and shit? You just don't buy, like for me, I wait until like the the first Christmas, not Christmas, but the first kind of Christmas. The first Christmas season. The first Christmas season, like after that shit came out, because by then they worked out all the fucking bugs.
All right. You're not wrong about the Xbox. Like I had a first generation 360, never had a red ring of death, but I know people who've had several. They had to send them in over and over. The first Wii's, they scratched your disc.
See, I remember.
I had a first generation, never had a problem. The first PS3, however, is an exception to this rule. The first generation PS3s, they could play PS2 games and PS1 games. They were backwards compatible.
Correct. Yes, the PS3 was the first exception, I feel, to that rule, because the first generation of PS3s fucked. They fucked real hard.
I don't know why they got rid of it. Like, I don't know what the reason was. Probably to cut down on cost, honestly, because they took out the readers and shit like that. But I still have a first generation PS3.
Yeah, and it still works because it's great.
Yeah, and out of all the consoles I still own, that one's actually still worth some money. It's not much, but I could sell it for $50.
Yeah, because it plays backwards compatibility. It had backwards compatibility.
And considering, it's like what, it's 15 years old at this point, if not older. Like, that's pretty good money for something like that. But in general, I don't think there was anything wrong with the PS4s and the newer Xbox, like the Xbox One, stuff like that. Like, I think the first generations were just fine. It's just more generations later, stuff just gets cheaper, or you get more options like bigger hard drives, or with the Pro it loaded faster, right? Like, that was the PS4 kind of came out before we really had 4K gaming, and we were in that like transitional, not that we play 4K now, most people don't, but it's a thing now. At least we were in that transitional phase. So the PS4 was kind of more suited at that resolution, and as a result, all the other resolutions just were loaded better, and you got better frame rates, and it made less noise, even though it's still a fucking airplane taking off in terms of volume.
Yeah, no, I get it, but at the same time, it's like the Xbox 360 was like the first like console that I bought for myself, kind of thing. So for me, and I watched tons of my friends get that red ring of death. So I was now like, I don't know, I'm just like conditioned to like be weary of the first generation of things that come out. I even deadass, I waited to buy a Switch because I was just like, I don't trust the first generation of anything, kind of thing. And I don't know. And I think it's just like conditioned behavior after like that heyday of like the Xbox 360, the PS3, and the fucking Wii, and how like they had kind of issues with them. Except the PS3, we stand the PS3 in this house. But all the other ones, I just have like that condition based thinking where I'm just like, but what if Unga Bunga it bad?
Yeah, no, I totally get it. The Switch even had launch problems. They haven't fixed one of them yet, but it had two major problems. One problem is when you dock it, the little slit isn't really wide enough. So in a lot of cases, if you don't line it super perfectly, there's a good chance you'll end up scratching your screen over time. Which they didn't really fix. Like, they didn't make the little hole bigger or anything like that. But it's something you can kind of like keep track of. Like, just be more careful, right? Like, that's not really a hardware issue. That's just more a design issue. But the second issue was the Joy-Cons, they disconnect a lot. And I'm pretty sure they fixed it by now. And I know at least in the United States, there was this whole callback thing. And it was like, if you have an issue with your Joy-Con, you can send us an email, and then you send your Joy-Con to us, and you'll get a new one. Now, luckily for me, I didn't have the Joy-Con issue. However, a couple of years ago, like pretty much shortly after the Switch release, we went to a friend. It's like a social gathering, and it was just a bunch of friends. And I brought my Switch controllers so we could like play Mario Kart and stuff like that. And apparently we had identical Switches because they come in different colors and stuff like that. And then I went home, and since that day, I have a Joy-Con issue. So I think I took the wrong controllers home, or more accurately, I got handed the wrong controllers. I never brought it up to them because it seems like such a dick thing, you know, like, oh hey,
Box them, they're thieves.
you gave me your shitty ass controllers. Especially since then I've bought a Pro controller and I play most things with a Pro controller, so it doesn't really affect me. You know, like I live by myself. I don't have a significant other. Like the Switch is a family thing, but no, it's just me, so it's fine.
No. Yeah, no, I get it. Because I mean, my roommates already have their own Switch, and so I have mine. However, I was worried about somebody taking my fucking Joy-Cons, especially because I know that a lot of people that I'm friends with do come from a family household, and say they have children, and children can be kind of rough on items. I don't know if you know that, but children can be a little tough love when it comes to certain things. And I know that when it comes to Joy-Cons, they're a little fragile, and that you can break the little pad.
Hook, the attachment. Oh, the pad. I thought you meant like the where it clicks in.
No, you can even break just the little fucking thumb pad, and then you're constantly perpetually Joy-Con drifting.
Yeah.
And then so because of that shit, whenever I go to party and I take my fucking Joy-Cons, I deadass put a sticker on the back of mine, so everybody knows that those are mine, and they're cute little otter stickers. So I know nobody else has them, and I put it on my Switch, and I put them on every single one of the fucking Joy-Cons that are mine. They get a little fucking otter sticker. You are not taking my fucking Joy-Cons.
That's smart. I mean, in my case, I figured they had the other color. I figured they had the gray Switch. So like, you know, it doesn't matter if I bring my colored Switch, you know, the is it like blue red,
yeah.
Yeah, but then it turned out they also had blue red, so rip.
Well, I mean, I have the blue red, but then I bought a second set of Joy-Cons and 2 Pro controllers because I'm a snob. Bought a second set of Joy-Cons, and I bought the fucking like acid yellow ones because I was like, none of my friends are gonna buy this color.
Yeah, accurate. On a related note, have you ever tasted a Switch cartridge?
I heard that they taste good or something, or they taste bitter. They're covered in like a bitter agent.
Do you have one near you?
Oh yeah, you want to give that shit a little lick, and we can do a fucking live react?
Yeah, give your live feedback, and then
Right.
and then I'll explain what's on them and why, and then I'll give you my take.
Okay. I have a Switch cartridge. Hold on, let me tell you what's on the menu tonight. Okay, I'm gonna lick Fire Emblem because we know what kind of freak I am.
Just put it on your tongue, you know, just put it in your mouth. Don't just lick it. Just put it in your mouth.
Okay, so hold on. Let me cleanse my palate here. Okay. 3, 2, 1. I mean, it's bitter.
Yeah.
But I don't mind a bitter flavor profile. I mean, I legitimately like drinking Negronis, and those are one of the most refreshingly bitter, is what they're called as a cocktail. That's just not that bad. I mean, if this was alcoholic, I would drink it.
So basically, you know the polish for your nails that's supposed to like deter you from nail biting.
Yeah.
For little kids, that's what they're coated in. And the idea behind it is so that when a little kid wants to swallow it, because little kids just put everything in their mouth, that it'll be disgusting and they'll spit it out.
Oh, that wouldn't stop me.
So I also like saw the whole internet craze, like, oh, Nintendo cartridges taste disgusting, blah blah blah. My first instinct was like, who the fuck found out? Like, you know, like because Nintendo didn't announce it until after. And number 2 was, I have to try this. So I did. And, you know, like, don't hate me. Don't hate me in the comments for my exquisite taste. I think it tastes really good.
Like I said, like it's not that bad. Like if licking a Nintendo cartridge was like taking a shot, I'd deadass do it every day.
I'd be drunk nonstop. Are you kidding me? But also as a kid, so I'm a nail biter. You know this, but for people that don't know, I bite my nails, and I always have, like my entire life. It's not an anxiety thing or anything like that. I just do it. Fuck it. It is what it is, right? So as a kid, my mom tried to get me to stop, and she put the polish on, and all that did was like add flavor to my nail biting. You know what I mean? It's like
She seasons your nails with like
yeah,
the beat or something
like it didn't stop me at all. It's like, so she stopped after a couple of days because it didn't change anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's actually not that bad. For people out there that are like, oh, it's so bitter and awful, your taste buds are a little bitch.
Your taste buds are weak.
My taste buds are weak. Bend the knee to my taste buds.
Thank you for noticing your weak ass bloodline, you know?
But God!
But I don't know. But other than that, other than Demon Souls being nut, right? I was very surprised to see the new God of War teaser. Well, teaser, they just showed the title screen, but it's coming out next year. And I mean, I expect it to be next year, November or so, because I don't think it's going to be anything before that. Like they might, I don't know. I don't think so. I think they would have shown more, but like I'm hella hype about it. I expected that to be at least a couple more years.
Mm-hmm.
Have you played the God of War for the PS4?
No, I haven't, but I hear it's very hashtag good and wholesome and the boy.
Yeah, it's really, really good in a lot of ways. Just it's great. Great. Definitely recommend playing it to everybody. Like even if you didn't like the other God of Wars, this is its own. It has like a little bit, some callbacks, some details that are like nods, and like if you know the lore, that's neat. But you don't need any prior knowledge, and the combat system is completely different. So if you didn't like the other games, at least take a look at God of War for the PS4. It's amazing.
I will have to go and do that because I never did, and I hear it was really good. I think like a few of my friends probably have the game that I could technically borrow from them. So I mean, what's really stopping me is just time.
Right? Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would maybe even say that it's one of the best games I've ever played.
Wow.
Like probably top 10. I think I can safely say that.
Wow, Owen Wilson. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just it's crazy. It's crazy good.
All right, you know.
And other than that, like I also saw, there's Abe Odyssey. I never really cared about Abe as a kid. It was too difficult for me, and so I never got into it. And Devil May Cry is getting Vergil as a playable character, but I hope so. They're releasing it as like the Ultimate Edition or whatever they're exactly calling it. I don't know. But I hope that it'll be sold separately as like DLC for like $5 or $10, because I don't want to rebuy the game just to play as Vergil, but I don't mind spending $5 or $10 and then going back to play it as Vergil.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that, but also, Unga Bunga, Vergil hot. Vergil has always been hot, so I don't know. Like when they released, I remember like deadass when they were like, Vergil's gonna be in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I was just like, I'm smiling right now. You don't know that because you're listening to a podcast, but I deadass like ear to ear grinned because Unga Bunga, Vergil very sexy, but that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I mean, Devil May Cry is great, period. And playing as Vergil has always been fun. I forget if they did it in 4, but in 3, you could definitely unlock him. And it was just cool to like use his playstyle in comparison.
Yeah, because Devil May Cry goes 1, 3. There's no Devil May Cry 2. It's funny how they totally messed up on that numbering system.
Yeah, I mean, Devil May Cry 2 exists for lore reasons, right? Like it's at the end.
It was a book, yeah.
Just like cutscenes and stuff,
Yeah, it was a movie. Devil May Cry 2 was a movie.
Yeah.
There was never a game made. Doesn't exist.
I think chronologically it's 3, 1, 4, 5, 2. I'm pretty sure it goes like that.
You mean to the movie, not to the game. There is no Devil May Cry 2.
Yeah, just it goes at the end. Just like watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly.
I think I could be mistaken. Someone correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but yeah.
We hate to see it, but Just how it is.
Yeah. But yeah, announcements aside, what's do you have any Steam plans or stream plans? I know we've been streaming Monster Hunter lately.
I keep answering that question every time, and it's a different game every time. So fuck it.
So no plans.
No.
Fair. I think I'm actually gonna do a long stream tomorrow. Like, I'm gonna start early because I didn't realize the date, but new Path of Exile League is coming out tomorrow.
Oh.
At 9 p.m. my time, which is like 3 hours before I start stream.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna play it anyway, right? So might as well just boot up stream earlier because I was initially gonna do bullets per minute BPM, which is like, at least to me, it's a game that came out of nowhere. It's like a roguelike rhythm FPS, but it's really fun. So I was initially gonna do that and just play some Monster Hunter, but I don't really want to play like 3 games on stream, you know, like even if it's like a super long stream, like I think that's just a little bit too much. I'm probably gonna just skip that and just play some PoE and then switch to Monster Hunter.
All right, I mean, that sounds good. I saw like a little bit of your stream and saw kind of what BPM is about. It looks really cool. I like the music. The music slaps. It's very Doom-like the music with the guitar riffs, and it's like beely beely. So I was like really feeling that.
It's really creative, honestly. Like I don't the roguelike is not. I typically love roguelikes, right? I adore them, but not this type of roguelike. This is more true to the original Rogue, where if you die, you lose everything. Like you just start over. I'm more a fan of that. While you're playing, that you like gather resources and then you can like get incremental power-ups whenever you die. So like maybe instead of starting at 100 HP, you've saved up enough currency and you buy the upgrade, and now all your runs start with 110 and then later 125, you know, stuff like that. But this is definitely like more of a true rogue experience. But I think the rhythm style is very well done. Like once you actually do get into a rhythm, I think my highest note score was like 100 something without fails. It feels really good. Like it feels super nice to just like shoot and dodge and reload on rhythm. It's it made my monkey brain very happy.
Monkey brain clap.
Yeah. Accurate.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, just me personally, it would be very difficult for me to play a game where I would lose all my progress and would have to start over from scratch if I'd spent like hours playing it. And I know like you played probably around like 2.5 hours, I think. When I was watching stream, you announced you're like, I've been playing this game for 2 hours and 30 minutes, and it doesn't feel like I have been. But like for me, losing all my progress and then starting all the way over from the beginning, like I'd be like, and I would like low key start to implode. But I mean, I know certain games like I don't mind dying and having to do it again, but I mind dying and losing everything that I've built. Like that would low key tilt me, my guy. So good on you for doing it.
I can understand where you're coming from, and it's not. I wouldn't feel that way in every game, right? Like, because for reference, in those 2.5 hours, I did 17 runs. Yeah, so I died, 17 times, right? So runs are a couple minutes to like 20 minutes tops, or something like that, right? Like if it was a different game, like if it was like Monster Hunter, like if you cart 3 times, your character dies and gets deleted, start all over, I'd be like, no, thank you, I'm good,
Yeah.
But if it's a game built around it, like from the ground up, they're usually like shorter runs. Like a completed run would maybe take like 30 minutes tops, and that, I don't think it's not bad to die in those kinds of games, like Binding of Isaac, Slay the Spire, just Monster Train, just like those types of games. They're designed from the ground up for quick runs.
Yeah, so like the quick, as long as it's a quick run. See, I don't know. Like, did you get close to? I mean, how do you beat the game? Basically, like, what's
There's
what's
8
the end goal?
levels, I think. I've made it to level 4. Now, the game is very weird. So when you first start the game, you have 2 modes. I think there's only 2 modes: easy and hard. And I first started on easy, but I couldn't get the rhythm right. Like it just seemed off key to me. I was like, like, and then someone in chat was like, well, maybe they took out a beat because it's easy mode, right? So you don't have to time it as accurately. So like, all right, let me try in hard. And then I got the beat right. Oh, so I guess that must be it. Turns out that is not it at all. I was just like deaf or something when I tried it on easy. The rhythm is exactly the same. I was just bad. So I got on level 4 on hard. Off stream, I played it some more today, and I got to level 6 out of 8.
Mm.
And I think if I give it a couple runs on easy, that I can beat it. And I think you unlock more characters, because the levels come in pairs. So like, it'll be like a zone, and then it'll be like Asgard 1 and Asgard 2 or something. And I think every time you beat a zone, you unlock a new character which has like either different abilities or like a different starting pistol or what have you. It's I don't know if it's a game I'll be playing for super long, maybe like 1 or 2 more streams or something, but it's definitely like, it's fun. It's pretty addicting to just get into the groove, because I don't know, like I've always liked rhythm games. I was like debating what I should play next initially, and I might end up going like, maybe some Crypt of the Necrodancer, because I've heard amazing and great things about it all over the years, but I never decided to try it.
Oh, you'd really like it because it's pretty much like that, but it's plays kind of closer to like a Zelda, and they even have like for Switch they have Cadence of Hyrule.
Yeah,
Which,
you told me about it.
Yeah, but obviously your boy will need a capture card for that, so hook it up. No, just kidding. Hook it up, chat. No, just kidding. But like
Sponsor me, Elgato.
sponsor us, Elgato. I also need one, so we can start streaming Monster Hunter Rise when it comes out. At me, slide into my DMs.
Absolutely, dude. I don't know. Yeah, it's just rhythm games are my jam, and I think that's why Sekiro really clicked for me. Because I don't know if it's a hot take. Sekiro is not an action game; it is a rhythm game, and I will die on that hill because a lot of fights, at least the more, I guess, reasonable fights that weren't like against monsters or shit like that, but just like regular ass sword fights, all my parry timings were just based off of the sounds that I heard, and like the quote unquote notes that were happening during the fight, and it wasn't really based on like reflex or anything like that. It was just mostly just going off of the notes and the pattern, like a rhythm game.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, like you were saying, you're like, yeah, I was just deaf, LOL, at the beginning, or when it comes to like, light versus regular. But I mean, there are a lot of people out there that like can't specifically play Dance Dance Revolution on light mode because the beat, they feel like it doesn't sync up, and they have to at least play standard or harder. And there's a lot of people that can't even play standard, like they have to play heavy because they feel like the beat doesn't line up. But I mean, obviously that's with different step charts and everything, and that's all like, and the songs are different, and there's like a lot of fluctuation when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I mean, there's a lot of people out there that have that same kind of thing. So I mean, I'm not surprised that you felt like you had that, because it's a thing, Scoob.
Yeah, no, I have the exact same thing with DDR and Stepmania, because in my head, I also had the same thing with what's the VR one called? Beat Saber. It's like Beat Saber gets a little bit more of a pass than DDR, because DDR is made by an official company, but Beat Saber is like everybody making their own songs.
Yeah.
And in my head, it's like no, this note should have been the arrow or the beat, but you picked a different note. Why would you do this to me, right? Like,
yeah, no, for sure.
So I completely understand that. And with DDR, it's like it needs to be faster. Like it can't be slow. Like God.
Even I mean that's why they even created the whole like doubling the speed like 2 times or 1.5 times or even 3 times, specifically for songs that are like a slower BPM. Like you gotta bump it, otherwise like the arrows are just all on top of each other and you can't even see anything.
Yeah, like I remember when I played Stepmania, which is like, I don't know, 15 years ago or something like that.
Hell yeah.
I had to put pretty much every song like times 8 or times 16 speed, because it's like it was otherwise too slow.
Damn, okay, weird flex, but go off.
I mean, it's not really a weird flex. So I thought I was pretty good at Stepmania, but I stopped. I stopped consciously because basically I only played with one hand. For people who don't know what Stepmania is, it's DDR but on a keyboard.
DDR before your fingies.
Yeah. So I play with one hand. Obviously, that's how you start. But after a certain threshold, especially with the very hard songs, they're kind of made with two hands in mind. So like, let's say you'll have 2 fingers on up and left, and the other 2 will be on down and right from with your other hand. So you have both index fingers and both middle fingers, or whichever 2 you are most comfortable with using, so you can press faster. I didn't like that. I didn't like playing Stepmania with 2 hands. It just felt awkward. It wasn't fun. So I consciously decided, like, okay, like I'm never going to get beyond this level. I'm never going to get better because I don't want to. And then I just kind of stopped playing.
I get it. I mean, if you think about it, DDR, you only got 2 feet.
Yeah.
Unless you start breakdancing right then and there.
Yeah, but DDR is also made with that in mind, right? Like DDR isn't expecting you to suddenly incorporate your hands. You know what I mean? While Stepmania, it was a natural progression that at some point you're going to, ascend and use both hands.
I gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, it's still a fun game. I think it's still being played to this day very actively.
Yeah, no, Stepmania is a big thing, and also now they have In the Groove, and In the Groove, it's like Stepmania, except you still play like DDR style, but people create their own step charts and you can download them.
Yeah, so like Stepmania, because people did create their own step charts and songs.
Well, yeah, especially because. Okay, yeah, you know what? Yeah. In the Groove is more like a style where there's like, the center one. Okay, so that was big dumb. That was dumb. Dumb of me.
It could have, maybe it's just like the new Stepmania, right? Like maybe it's just the next, maybe it's a better engine or something, or easier to make songs on. I don't know. I never.
I think it actually is called Stepmania.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's called like Stepmania X, but it's like In the Groove style where there's a center one, and then you have to also not hit the thingies when like the bombs come up.
Yeah, like some songs. I don't like that mechanic. I never did.
It's just designed to punish you. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's already punishing enough if you miss, right? At the very least, maybe I'm the odd one out when it comes to rhythm games. Usually, if I miss a beat, I will miss the next 20 because I'm suddenly off key. Like I can't stop and like readjust my rhythm in the middle of things. Does that make sense?
No, it does. I'm just trying to think of like how I am, and I'm just like, it's been so long since I played a rhythm game, Scoob. It's been many moons.
What's the last one you played? Probably like Guitar Hero or something, right? Or a Rock Band or something of that nature.
B-Mania.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah. Well, also Rock Band and Guitar Hero and stuff like that. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. The ultimate party game. I miss that. I miss back when times were simpler and you just stayed up to 4 o'clock in the morning fucking playing fucking Rock Band with your friends. And then afterwards you all get Denny's and shit afterwards. Like that was a simpler time in my childhood that I miss.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't exactly call it childhood. I remember very distinctly that Rock Band came out 12 years ago. So we were like already we were entering adulthood. Like I was turning 18. I remember because I ended up buying Rock Band for my birthday. This was one of the very few birthdays that actually ended up being celebrated. For people who don't know, my birthday is very close to Christmas. People are usually just not around, or they already have plans, or it's in the middle of the week, and by the time the weekend comes, it's already Christmas. So it's just a hassle. So I usually don't celebrate it at all. But this was, I was turning 18. I guess that's a valid enough reason for people to show up. I was like, you know what? I should get Rock Band and just play it, and we did, and we played all night, and we got drunk, and I may have what's the word? I may have shotgunned a bottle of wine. And
Damn, Scoob, you went fucking fast.
I mean, okay, so listen. Okay, so this is what happened. This is the reason why. The day before, because some friends, they were traveling a couple of hours, so it's like, hey, why don't you just stay over at my place and sleep here, so that way you don't have to travel. I'm back. Mm-hmm. So the day before, we also did some drinking, and I was like, let me try something new, and I bought a bottle of liqueur. I forget what it was or which flavor it was, but it was like vanilla flavor, and it was like a subtle vanilla, like very, very subtle, but it tasted really nice. And I drank that bottle, and I was like slightly buzzed. I was like, yeah, this is nice. I'll buy this tomorrow too, and I'll just drink that, and it'll be fine. And I did, and then someone drank half of it, and when I finished it, I felt nothing. I'm like, this is bullshit. I hate this. I want to go home, right? So then I started mixing shit, which I shouldn't have, because then I tried beer, and then I tried a different beer, and then I shotgunned all the fucking wine, and it's like I should have, if I was gonna do it, I should have done it in order, like not start off with like the strongest drink, but that was not my plan going into it. I just wanted my liqueur, but I wasn't allowed, I guess. Can't have nice things. But yeah, and then I ended up throwing up. Yeah, my stomach was way too full.
Yeah, I mean,
that was the main reason. People freaked out. I mean, in the toilet, like knock on wood, I didn't throw up, in the middle of the room or anything like that. People kind of freaked out because it was red wine, so the initial thought was blood, right? And then I went to bed. And then I woke up 4 hours later, sober and not hungover.
No, I mean, I've been to tons of parties like that. It's totally fine.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So everybody does that thing. Where you're like, oh, you don't mix liquors, and like never if it's like, what is it? It's like liquor. Liquor before beer and you're in the clear, beer before liquor and you're never sicker. And that's like kind of like a nursery rhyme and kind of like an old wives' tale, in my opinion, because I've mixed alcohol all my fucking life and I'm fine. But basically, it's like because of the the metabolic rate in which you break down alcohol, it takes you longer to break down beer than it is liquor, because liquor is more concentrated, right? So it just kind of goes like, there it is, Scoob, like versus like beer, it has like, it's got like more shit in it basically, so it takes you a while to metabolize and get to the point where you can actually like, feel the buzz. And so that's why drinking beer before liquor, you drink the beer, it takes a while for it to hit you, and then you chase it with alcohol, but then the alcohol also hits you, so then you get drunk like really fast or whatever. But I don't know if there's like some bro science or whatever the fuck, because I've been mixing alcohol my whole fucking life and I've been a-okay, Scoob. So, but usually when it comes to beer, you either stick on beer or you use it as like an ending drink. Like you drink, you binge drink, you go hard on the fucking liquor, and then at the end of the night you're just like, okay, time for a nightcap, and you finish off with like a nice beer. And that's typically like what is advised when it comes to like when you're drinking and you go on a bender. But I mean, I've mixed. But I mean, I've also like low-key died, but the times in which like I low-key died, I drank like mead.
Oh.
And mead.
Good.
Mead is one, fucking amazing and delicious. One of the best beverages ever created by man. But two, it sneaks up on you. Kind of does. Sneaks up on you pretty fast depending on like the alcohol content, and the mead alcohol content that I was drinking was some pretty potent shit. Because he was either like handmade by a friend, so it wasn't like your average mead. It was like moonshine mead basically. And I ended up getting really sick. I threw up all over downtown San Diego. I got the paramedics called on me. I was able to just like God Gamer calculate and like fudge my way through like a whole interview where they were just basically like, can you remember this and this and this? So I was able to like God Gamer recall having like total recall like my entire life story and like seem completely sober to them. And then we're like, oh, okay, well, like, no, she's fine. Like, let her go upstairs. Like, she's whatever. But I was fucking gone, Scoop. I don't even remember fucking having that conversation. But I had people there that witnessed the conversation, and they were just like, yeah, you were like completely lucid. Like, you like tapped into like a higher being, and you were just like fucking omnipotent, and you were able to answer every single question that they had within seconds of them asking. But like, we could tell that you were just fucking gone because we know you as a person.
Yeah.
But yeah. Either way, like I just ended up going upstairs. I slept it off, and it was fine. But yeah, I've had a lot of rough nights, so I'm not saying that like I'm anything to look up to. But I will say, like, I've never been like dead hungover. I don't know if that's just because calculated God gamer genetics or something like that. Clearly, you had the same thing where you vomited, but the next day. But most of the time, when you throw up everything that's gonna make you feel sick the next morning, anyways. So vomiting is kind of advised, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if I feel sick, I want to vomit, but I think it's genetics. Honestly, I've never been hungover. Like, I threw up that night, but all in all, I didn't really consume that much alcohol. Like, maybe I'm not gonna use freedom units because I can't be asked, but like a quarter liter of liqueur, maybe like a can of beer and like a liter of wine, which so it's nothing. It's just my stomach was too full to handle it.
Cool. Yeah, and that happens.
And but I've been hella drunk, you know what I mean? Like I've had homemade alcohol, which is like closer to like 80%, and then just drink like a liter and a half in a night, you know? Like I've done that, but I never get hungover. But as far as I knew, to go back to that nursery rhyme for a second, I've been taught that if you're going to drink different drinks throughout the night, you should start with the lowest alcohol percentage and finish with the highest one. Because if you do it in reverse, it'll fuck you up. But I've never found out why or inquired, but that's always what I've heard.
That's not something here. There's just like that nursery rhyme with like, beer before liquor and stuff. And then there's a whole thing where people just like, you don't mix like your dark alcohol with your clears or whatever. It's like, yeah, if you're a little bitch, they're fucking fine. They're the fucking same. It's alcohol. If you're one of those people that are like, oh, I mixed my whiskey with my vodka and that's why I threw up. No, you threw up because you're a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like I don't. I mean, just mix whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, dude. No, there's nothing about color that has to do. Your stomach doesn't recognize color, dude. Like,
yeah.
The fuck? That's so stupid. You're stupid.
Yeah. Damn. Dragged.
Sorry, dude. Dragged. Dox yourself if you're one of those people that think that the whole clear versus dark alcohol is gonna hit you different. It's like, no. I mean, if you're mixing and your stomach doesn't like, if your tummy is an unhappy tum tum and it gets frowny face when you put the vodka with the whiskey, then you shouldn't be fucking drinking mixed drinks. And two, like your stomach can't distinguish between two alcohols that are like, oh yes, I 100% am vibing with this whiskey at the moment, but oh no, here comes vodka. That's gonna fuck up my whole day. It's like, no, dude, like that's a fucking old wives' tale.
Yeah,
that's fucking bro science. That's just something that they put into your fucking head to like make you stick to one liquor the whole night. That's just no. Your stomach doesn't recognize different colors. Okay, like shut the fuck up.
Yeah, absolutely. But to go back to mead / honeyed wine.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, like, I don't know how common it is there, but there's a store here where I can just order a bunch, and they're pretty cheap, all things considered. So, like, years ago, I was like, let me try some different flavors. And I think I ordered like 5 bottles for like $27.
Well, that's cheap.
Yeah, that's hella cheap.
That's actually very cheap for mead.
Considering they were all liter bottles, like, yeah, that's 5 liters of alcohol right there, right? I didn't like, so I had never had meat before that instance, which also spurred me to like order it and get some extra flavors. I didn't really like the de facto default, just mead, just honeyed wine. But I've also never been like really a wine person or a beer person, so that kind of tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had apple. Apple was aight, but not nothing to write home about. Then I had 2 more, which I forget, so clearly they weren't that impressive. But one that I really liked was the cherry. and it was like advertised as like a summer, like a summer wine, which you should keep it cooled, and then like on like a nice summer evening you should drink it. And they were fucking right. It tasted really good.
Yeah,
I can definitely recommend that one.
Yeah, 110%. When it comes to like dark cherry anything, it's probably gonna fuck. It's gonna fuck real hard. Like there's a dark cherry beer that I really like, called Castile Rouge, and it's very flavorful. It tastes like candy. It's honestly like a candy beer. Like it literally tastes like candy. It doesn't taste like actual beer, but it's really fucking good. Especially if you have somebody that's like, oh, I don't like beer. There's a beer out there for fucking everyone, dude. Like there's just like there's everything out there for everyone. You just haven't found it yet. There's so many different beer and like wine and alcohol varietals that for you to say just to write completely one thing off, that's whack. But I know there's some people out there that are like, oh well, whenever I drink tequila, I become a total asshole kind of thing. And like, I don't know if that's either. That just means you're a dick when you're drunk.
Yeah.
There's no hidden like fucking psychic block in your brain that only becomes unlocked when you fucking start shooting Jägermeister. Like it just means you're kind of a dick when you're drunk. Like
yeah, it's like similarly where I think it's said about wine or champagne. Like some girls or women will be like, oh yeah, like champagne makes me horny. Like what? No, it's alcohol. It doesn't matter.
The only thing that champagne does is dehydrate the shit out of you. Champagne is one of the fucking champagne will suck every living shit drop of water out of your bloodstream and you will become mummy dust. Like champagne. That's the only thing that I can say about fucking champagne that is true facts about it, is that it dehydrates you. That's why when you go to Vegas pool parties, they give the girls champagne because they want to dehydrate them, get them fucked up, and have guys go and buy them more drinks.
Yeah. Which is fucked up. It's a vicious cycle.
I mean, that's why, there's a cover charge for men, but there's no charge for girls.
Yeah, true.
Load the club full of hotties. Load it full of hotties.
I am one of those people who doesn't like beer. But I say this having tasted like 15 different kinds of beer.
That's not that much.
I mean, I think that should be plenty to decide if you like something.
No, bitch. Let me get you some more beer, and I will show you the way. I could probably find something that you will like.
Sure, sure. But I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm always open to trying some more. I'll take a sip or two to see it. But
how do I smuggle Castile Rouge in my suitcase for when I visit you?
I think you can just bring it if it's sealed in a specific way. I don't know, something like you'll have to look it up, but it should be possible. But one thing that always like grinds my gears is when people say that beer is an acquired taste. I hate that. They're like, because it makes sense, but like, motherfucker, if I have to force myself to drink something like 20 times until it's okay, like, no, dude, there's plenty of other alcohol out there. I don't have to drink beer. I can just get something else that tastes good right away the very first time, and that's my jam. Yeah. So. Yeah. But I don't know, like I've tried a variety of beers, like normal beers. I've tried like, I don't know what you guys call it, like we call it like white beer if I were to translate it. It's like a lighter color. It's God.
Yeah, like a Belgian white beer, like a Belgian wheat.
I don't know. Fucking what's the word I'm looking for? Hipsters were like really into it.
Oh, IPAs?
Yes.
Immediately know. I'm like, oh yes, IPAs.
Sorry for any IPA hipsters out there, but it's true.
It's true.
So I tried those. Like I tried Japanese beers. Like I've tried plenty, but it's like, I don't know. Like for me, it all comes down to the same thing, and they're just too bitter. Like across the board, every beer I just haven't liked because I think it's too bitter.
A local man who loves bitter profiles says that even IPAs are too bitter for him.
Just all beers are too, like, they just have a very bitter aftertaste. Like I don't have a bitter profile. Like I have a sour profile.
It's the hops. The hops in it. A lot of hoppy beers. If something says like, oh, it's hoppy, that means it's gonna have a bitter aftertaste.
I mean, so it could just be that I've been unlucky, but like I said, I've tried over a dozen different kinds, and varieties, and it's like, I don't know, just not my jam, and that's fine. You know, like I like everything else pretty much. You know, give me. I'm also not, for the same reason, I'm not really a fan of like most wines that I've tried and champagne, because it has that same bitterness to it.
Mm.
I mean,
that just means you just gotta diversify.
yeah,
'cause
like
I don't know.
with wines, I've just been unlucky with the ones I've tried, because wine comes in so many flavors and palettes and everything like that, you know. But champagne, I think across the board, it won't change that much.
Well, to be fair, with champagne, the stinkier the champagne smells, the stinkier and kind of gross it tastes means it's better champagne. You basically want your champagne to kind of smell like a fart. Like all the high end champagnes that are like super expensive and stuff like that, they're a little skunky. Want to have some stank on it. You want to have some fucking stank on that champagne. That's where the money is. It's the money stank. But I don't actually get it. I don't understand. For me, I'm weird and I like my drinks to be really dry. Like for some reason, when I fucking like have like a gin and tonic and that gin is so fucking dry that it like chaps my lips as I'm drinking it, I'm like that's optimal flavor for me. I want it to just be like the taste of breathing in like a pine forest and having it like be on my tongue. Like I want it to be fucking dry. So I really like dry. I like dry wines. I like dry gin. I like dry beers. I will say I do kind of like some floral beers here and there too. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a dry beer, but I mean that's just kind of like if I'm looking at a menu and I don't see anything that sticks out to me and I want to order something that I know it'll be safe and I'll like it, I'll go for something that says dry taste because I know I'll like it.
That's fair. I think you would like Schlewitz a lot.
Gesundheit?
It's like an East Bloc Balkan. I think it's also Turkish alcohol, and it's made with different fruits, be it pears or I'm blanking on the other ones. I know them, just not in English, like pears or
just say them in whatever what you know it in then. It's
prunes.
Oh, prunes is like raisins, like grapes.
Yeah, and like apricots.
Wait, specifically prunes are from dates.
Like they're like this big and like purple, and they have like one seed in the middle. They grow on trees.
That's a date.
Oh, then I guess dates, not prunes. Yeah. Dates and like apricots, stuff like that. And we always make them. I say we. My mom makes it every year. She makes like, oh god, how much does she have right now? 700 liters. Because we have a lot of apricots in the backyard.
I love apricots.
Same. And she makes it like close to like 80%. So I usually, when I'm drinking, if I drink, I'm currently on medication, I haven't really drank in years, I'll take a shot, and then from that point on, I'll because I'll take a shot like to see what it is and like get that raw taste, and then I'll start mixing it with just Coke.
Apricot Coke?
I mean, it's close to 80%. You can't really taste the apricot. It's more like alcohol and Coke. You know what I mean?
That's like drinking Baijiu. Have you ever had Baijiu?
No, I have not.
It's like just when you're gassing up at the pump.
Mm-hmm.
Like taking it off the pump.
That smell,
smelling it a little bit, and then licking the tip of the gasoline pump. That's Baijiu. Baijiu is fucking terrible.
Schlewitz isn't like that. Everybody who's tried it, because like I said, like it's supposed to be around 40%, but we make it between 60 and 80. We never really measure the exact, but I know it's at least that much. But it goes down really smooth, and everybody who's even tried a shot, they're like, "Damn, this doesn't even taste like 40%. This shit is dangerous." Like, yeah.
Well, so I mean, like, I've had like, so 151, which is like higher alcohol content rum. Excuse me. I don't know why I said beer. Where's my brain? Rum. So there's 151. And then there's one that they sell in Hawaii called like 152 or 156 or something like that. It's like a higher grade of alcohol. And then there's Everclear, which is like the highest, like I think, alcohol content that you can like get
legally, right?
You actually can't technically get it in California. You have to drive over to another state to get it because Everclear is pretty strong. And like Baiju makes Everclear look like a fucking LaCroix, dude. Like it makes Everclear look like a LaCroix. Like when you like being in the same room as Baiju, like singes your nose hairs out. Like it is fucking potent, and it's not good, Scoob. Baiju is not good. I don't know why anybody drinks it. It's like really popular amongst like Chinese businessmen because it gets you fucked up real quick. And to be fair, I mean, just at that point, just start tugging on a hose of fucking isopropyl alcohol because it's that fucking bad, dude. It did not like Baiju.
That's probably why it got made, right? Like it's probably, you know, if you trace it back, it's probably because poor people didn't have a reliable way to get fucked up. So,
oh, absolutely.
That's the reason, you know.
Absolutely. Comment below if you like Baiju and if you like Baiju and hate yourself because you have to like Baiju.
And in general, just comment down below what your favorite drink is of alcohol, like, you know, specific brands, types of drink mixes. Just like let us know.
I love that we went from gaming podcast to alcohol podcast.
I mean, this is what we do. We are masters of different fields or something. I don't know. We just vibe and talk shit. That's what we do here.
Pretty much, yeah. Hella vibe, hella talk shit.
Although speaking about vibing, talking shit, I think our time is up, my friend.
It went so fast, yet so far. It really was the friends we made along the way with alcohol.
Yeah, it's a good topic to round it off, right? So
kind of is. I didn't expect it to land here, but here we are.
Here we are. Yeah, this always unexpected ways that are the most fun. But yeah, remember to hit that bell, subscribe, comment. I don't know, like maybe not in that order, but do all those things. That'll make us very happy. And our social links will be in the boxes below, as per usual. They'll be in the description. Although I think most people know where to find us, but hey, just in case. And thank you for coming. I had a great time. I'm your host, Milan, signing off. And my co-host is...
Kelly. I had like one of those things where my brain shuts off. Like I was gonna say something witty and cool, and then my mouth just went so. And then it's gonna like spaghetti.
Yeah. So while my co-host is having a stroke, I think that's the best place to end it on. So
big dab.
Big as the dabs, and take care, y'all. We'll see you next week.